Well, apparently it's been delayed some more. It was scheduled to go on about 45 minutes ago. We can tell you that based on sources that we have within the Atlanta committee, that they do expect to go forward with these games. They intend fully to go forward with these games today. In fact, Olympic athletes are scheduled to leave the village, some of them now, in about 15 minutes, because some of the events, including track and field, were scheduled to begin very early this morning. The flags will be flown at half-staff at the various venues, and there will be a moment of silence before each of the events today. This is a difficult call for the people who are involved, and it's not just the people from the Atlanta Committee on Olympic Games or the International Olympic Committee, but of course federal authorities will be in on that decision, I would guess, as well. The question for them is, do we become hostage to the single act of madness, however traumatic it was for everyone and however fatal it was for several people, it appears, as well. We want to set the scene for you now. It was just 4 hours ago at 1:15 this morning Eastern Time at a rock concert here in Atlanta. That's Centennial Park. You can see the tower that we've been talking about all morning long. Many of you are just joining us for the first time. At the risk of those of you who have been with us for some time, we're going to show you now a videotape that you've seen repeatedly, but it is quite remarkable because it gives you a real sense of just how traumatic this was.
But you know what? See, right about now, we have the privilege of working with this.
That was the explosion. We believe it came from a device that was placed at the bottom of the tower. We are told, by the way, from Grady Memorial Hospital that one of the fatalities tonight involved a middle-aged man who had a coronary episode, understandably, and then died of a heart attack when he got to the hospital. Let's go to the news conference now. These are the Olympic Committee officials and various other authorities. Do we have sound? Stay with us because we're going to be getting sound momentarily from this news conference. They'll be telling us about the future of the games, what they know about this explosion so far. Here we go.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? My name is A.D. Frazier. I'm the Chief Operating Officer with the Atlanta. My name is A.D. Frazier. I'm the Chief Operating Officer with the Atlanta Committee for the Olympic Games. Can you hear me now? Test me. My name is A.D. Frazier, F-R-A-Z-I-E-R, Chief Operating Officer for the Atlanta Committee for the Olympic Games. We're here to have a press briefing concerning the events of this morning and further steps that will be taken. To my right is Francois Carrard, Director General of the International Olympic Committee. To his C-A-R-R-A-R-D. To his right is Woody Johnson with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. J-O-H-N-S-O-N. To his right, Woody. To his right, yes, is Chief Beverly Harvard, Chief of the Atlanta Police Department. B-E-V-E-R-L-Y, H-A-R-V-A-R-D. To her right is Commissioner Sid, S-Y-D, Miles, M-I-L-E-S, Commissioner of Public Safety, State of Georgia. We'd like to start with a decision by the IOC and ACOG, which will be announced by Mr. Carrard, and then we'll discuss the specific events pertaining or having taken place this morning. Mr. Carrard.
Thank you, A.D. Do you hear me? Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the International Olympic Committee and its president, I wish to state that we at the International Olympic Committee are all, with our hearts and thoughts, with the families of the victims of the tragic incident which occurred tonight. The International Olympic Committee expresses its deepest sympathy to all these people, all these families, and all their friends. I came now to state the decisions which have been taken during the night after numerous consultations with the top senior officials of the International Olympic Committee, ACOG, and all other concerned agencies. These decisions are as follows. First of all, the Games will go on. I repeat, the Games will go on. As I speak now, everything from the operational standpoint is ready. Buses are rolling, the athletes have been notified, and the Games today will go on. The second decision is that we will observe a moment of silence in the memory of the victims at all venues today. And the third decision taken by the IOC is that all Olympic flags will be lowered today at half-mast. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to turn this over to Special Agent in Charge Woody Johnson from the FBI, who will describe the events that have taken place and what is known by law enforcement.
As you are aware, at approximately 1:25 a.m. this morning, an explosive device detonated in the Centennial Park downtown. As you also should be aware, that is a public park, an open area that can be visited by any of the people that are here for the Olympic Games. It is not a secure venue area. The sequence of events, as we have information at this point, is that while a police officer had been called to a portion of the park near the NBC stand to deal with some individuals who are a bit unruly, he noticed a suspicious package, requested at that point that explosive ordnance personnel who we have stationed close by come to the scene. Those individuals from the explosive ordnance group arrived at the scene, took a look at the package, were suspicious that it might be an explosive device, and immediately began to move people away from the area. Before they were able to clear the area, the device went off. Along with people that were in attendance at the park at that time, law enforcement officers who were close by were also injured. At this point, we understand that we have 110 injured and 2 people who have died. We have been working for literally years in preparation from a law enforcement perspective to prepare for these games. We immediately responded appropriately. The FBI will take the lead in the investigation. We will consider it an act of terrorism until information should arrive to the contrary. We have now cordoned off the park area. We have brought specialists in dealing with explosives. We have brought an evidence response team in. Our explosive ordnance and evidence response people who are on the ground have begun the investigative effort, are also people that were involved in the bombing in New York and in Oklahoma City. They have a great deal of experience working these types of investigations. At this point, as we sit here, I have no additional information about other threats or devices. We have some indication that there may be some suspicious packages but we will sort those out quickly. We will sanitize the rest of the park to make certain that there are no devices there. All of the venues will be sanitized again. Where the athletes are located and where they will participate, we will send people through those venues between now and the time the events take place. We will work as a team with Atlanta Police Department, with Georgia Bureau of Investigation, with the Highway Patrol, with ATF, and all the other federal agencies that will be with us until we successfully resolve this investigation. Now we'll hand it back to AD.
We are going to operate our venues beginning on time. Our staff and volunteers have been notified to continue to operate. Our bus systems are now rolling to carry athletes to their competition. Meetings have been held with the chefs de mission and their delegations, and the training and competition sites will open today as scheduled. We will ask for your patience in dealing with the obvious importance of security at a time like this. We're also going to be operating International Boulevard, will be a means of ingress and egress, and the area south of International Boulevard in the park will be open, and the area north of the International Boulevard will be temporarily closed and will be reopened as soon as possible. We will have a more detailed briefing on this matter later in the day. That will be announced through the main press center and the IBC, and we'll have at that point any further facts. At this point, this concludes our briefing. We will report to you later in the day for a more detailed briefing on this matter as facts develop. Thank you very much.
All right, that's the news conference of the International Olympic Committee, the Atlanta Committee on the Olympic Games, and the FBI. The pertinent information, of course, is that it was an explosive device. 2 people have been killed so far, and they are going to take some questions now. Let's go back. This is Francois Girard from the International Olympic Committee.
Nos premiers sentiments sont d'être de tout cœur et en pensée avec les familles des victimes.
And he is responding to one of his countrymen. We will not go now to that. Let's go instead to show you this picture of the Centennial Park. It's worth we want to tell you that it happened just about 4 hours ago right now. Woody Johnson from the FBI saying it was at 1:25 this morning. A police officer was called to deal with some unruly people near an NBC news station. He noticed what he thought was a suspicious package. He called the ordnance group in. They determined it could be a bomb. They began to clear people back. The bomb went off. 110 people have been injured so far, according to Mr. Johnson, and he said that 2 people have been killed so far. That is a videotape taken by Mark Field of the suspicious package. He said it was a leather satchel of some kind. As he moved back about 50 feet, it simply went off. Was it an act of terror? Well, they believe that it was, the nature of which we cannot say. Who was responsible, what they had in mind, who else was involved. Were there other bombs? Possibly. There have been reports. Now here is the explosion as we see it on a wide screen, just as a rock concert was finishing one of the songs from Heart Attack.
But you know what? See, right about now, we have the privilege of working with this.
That was the explosion. 110 injuries, 2 confirmed deaths so far. One of them, we think, was a heart attack. The police officers at the scene who were clearing people back obviously were in the line of fire, and they were injured as well. How seriously, we cannot tell you right now. There was general chaos at the scene immediately afterward. Scores of police moved in and began to clear people out.